Part 2 of the PowerBook hard drive saga, and I'm recording this a lot sooner than I thought I would. Here we have the drive enclosure from the previous video. There's the drive, and if you guys remember correctly, it would not power up. If you haven't seen part 1, then check it out. Basically, there's not enough power going to this drive to power it up because it uses a micro mini, whatever the hell they call that, USB, same as the one on my camcorder, and it doesn't power up the drive basically. So, we're going to remove this drive. Actually, before we do that, because I'm going to have to do that off camera because I can't actually get it out. I'm recording this video a lot sooner than I thought I would because Jack reminded me, that's Jack Ellis that donated a lovely little parcel to this channel about 3 months ago. He reminded me that he donated a 2.5-inch IDE enclosure. And if we take a quick look at this enclosure, here we have it, nice, metal, awesome. Let's pull this up and boom, it's got a dual USB lead. So that'll provide enough power for this drive. And the other cool thing is, check it out, comes with a little case. I really like that. That's cool. So the cool thing about this is it's such a nice enclosure that I can give it back to the original owner, and if they want to use their hard drive then they can, because obviously it's rightfully their hard drive. It came out of their machine. So of course it's theirs. We do have little screws in here to secure it. I don't know if that's focusing, I can't really tell. But yeah, little screws. Let's keep that down there for now. Little screwdriver included. And this is the drive enclosure. So we'll keep it all together just for now, and off camera I will try and squeeze this out. So thank God for that, I've finally got them out. Let's put that to one side. This enclosure sucks. It really does suck. Let's put that over there. Slide the hard drive over for now, and let's open up the new enclosure. Oh cool, the end has fallen off already. That's cool. Now what I like about this is it's one of those cool ones that plugs into the drive and then you can slide it in. So let's do that right now. Let's get the drive and let's carefully, hang on a sec, let's make sure this is all lined up, because the pins, as you can see, we've got a different pin layout. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. There's more pins on the drive than there actually is. Okay, so according to this enclosure, it's the pins on this side of the drive that we use primarily. So that means this goes on in this orientation. Let's push it on. Push that onto the drive. Fantastic, that is now on. And quite simply, let's slide this drive. Whoops, completely missed it there, lucky I didn't let go. Into there, like so. And I assume you can secure it with the screws included in each corner, which is fantastic. Awesome. Now then, I'm not going to do that quite yet, just in case it doesn't work. What I will do is take out the USB lead. Which is in this little bag. Hey, this should turn out well, guys. Here we have it. This is what we want. This end goes into the drive, and then this end goes into 2 USB ports so it gets enough power. So what I'm going to do is plug it into the drive, and we should get the drive spinning up. So I'm going to move the drive so it reaches the USB ports. Very exciting times. I had to use this knife to get the drive out of the old enclosure, believe it or not. Horrible tight squeeze, much prefer the design of these ones. Right then. Let's plug that in, and then that in. Now the drive is spinning. I wonder if it's mounted. I don't think it's going to mount, it sounds dodgy. It sounds as if it's trying to mount. Let's try again. Okay, let me just experiment for 2 seconds off camera, guys. Let's have a quick recap. In the old case, when you plugged in the drive, it would just go it couldn't get enough power. It wasn't spinning up. When we have it in this case, and we plug in both USBs, it gets enough power, and I can tell because the drive goes that kind of noise. So it's trying to spin, but it cannot spin, and then after a while it gives up. Something is stopping the drive from spinning. So it sounds like the platter is stuck. Now, hard drives are very complicated beasts because a lot of things can be wrong. Sometimes what seems like a mechanical fault, like I just said, the platter could be stuck. It seems like it is actually physically stuck, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a PCB fault in the drive, and that's causing the platter to incorrectly start up because it's receiving dodgy commands from the drive controller. Not the drive controller, the PCB on the hard drive. So even though that's unlikely because this machine is battered, it's probably a physical problem. It may not even be a platter issue. It may be the drive heads have slipped so badly that they're stopping the platter from spinning, or they've become stuck on the platter, or something absolutely crazy like that has happened. There's a lot of different things you can try with hard drives. Some of them are more extreme than others, and some of these things to attempt can render your drive absolutely useless. You know, by trying one thing, you can actually possibly break something else. So if it's a PCB issue and you start opening up your hard drive and seeing if the platter spins and whatnot, then you know, you could potentially knacker the mechanical components when it was just a PCB fault. Okay, so I'm not going to open this drive. Now, you guys might think I'm crazy for even suggesting that you could open a drive, because everyone's like, oh no, don't open a drive, don't open a drive. If you need to get data off a drive, then a lot of the time, depending on the fault, it is actually fine. If the drive heads are stuck on the platter, it is fine to whip off the lid, go just move the drive heads over, whip the lid back on, and then transfer your data. The drive will make hell of a noise, and it probably won't last very long. Or if you get the torque settings just right when you put it back together, then, you know, your drive could last a long time. But, you know, things like dust particles and that are normally eliminated by the force of the drive spinning up at such a high rotation anyway. So opening it up is an option, but it's not something I'm going to do with someone else's hard drive. So what I'm going to do is something that I don't actually have much faith in, and that is the freezer trick. Now, the freezer trick is good for solving a couple of different things, but the good thing about it is you can't really damage your hard drive in any way after doing so. So basically all you have to do is put the drive in the freezer for an hour. Some people say an hour, some people say overnight, some people say, you know, a week. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to go for an hour just because I don't have more than an hour really, and I'd like to continue filming this video. So get an anti-static bag if you want to do this. Basically, just put the drive in bare, and we'll close this up, and this is ready to go straight into the freezer like that. So obviously it won't get wet or anything in there because it's in the anti-static bag. Now, of course, I don't hold very many high hopes for this. There are a couple of things that you can try. In this kind of order, this is something that I've tried first. A good thing to do, let me demonstrate with another hard drive. Actually, I won't demonstrate with another hard drive. Let me demonstrate with this empty enclosure. A good thing to do if your drive won't spin up normally is plug it into the power and have it flat on a surface like so, like that, and it's struggling to spin up, so it's going trying to spin up. Good thing to do is to just angle it so you're angling it like that, and maybe a little shake like so, and then if that doesn't spin up, angle it like that, and try it in all of these directions like so. Just tilt it that way, and you know, just tilt it like that, and then if that doesn't work, flip it over and do the same thing. And what you can then do, if all of that fails, you can start powering it up and hold it on its corners and maybe slightly shake it like so, like so. I mean, all of this is very bad for a hard drive, as you can imagine, but it's all about spinning it up for one time just so you can save your most crucial data off of the damn thing. So it doesn't really matter if you damage it. Of course it matters because it would be nice to have a fully working hard drive forever, but if it is knackered already, then you've probably got to face facts that you just need to get your data off it and, you know, basically run away from it, you know, not use it again. So, of course, I've tried all of those tricks. I tried them off camera. It was pointless doing it on camera because it's ridiculous. And the thing is about these hard drive tricks is it's based on people's opinions. Some people might be thinking I'm talking absolute bollocks. Other people might be finding this interesting. Other people may agree. Other people may agree with some of the things I said and not with others. But, you know, they're hard drives. They're sensitive beasts and everyone has their methods. So, freezer method is pretty much along the same lines of putting a graphics card in the oven. You know, it's a very temporary fix. It only works for some people sometimes, but it is a thing. It's not a troll. It genuinely can work. So basically, I'm going to go and lob this in the freezer. So here we have one normal freezer. Open it up. This is turning into a tutorial. Obviously, a really important thing to make sure is you're not putting your drive anywhere where another member of the family or your housemates or whatever is going to drop the drive on the floor when getting something out. So of course this bread or something may be used today, but things like these frozen vegetables have been in here for ages, and you know they'll only be brought out on special occasions. So what I'm going to do is put my drive on that shelf right there, put that back on top of it, and it's not on any ice, so it's not going to get soaked in the anti-static bag, and close up the freezer and start counting 1 hour. It is now, hang on, let me whip out my phone. Hang on a sec. 16:52. So at 17:52, we'll get the drive out and we'll see what it's doing. So here we have the drive. It has been in the freezer for slightly over an hour. I fell asleep on my chair. It's been quite a long day. I was in work this morning from about 9 o'clock, and then I got back about 2, and I've been making videos since. So, the drive is indeed very cold. Now I'm not holding out much hope for this, guys, because the drive isn't actually spinning up. This is normally good for if the drive is spinning up, but it won't, if it's struggling, if data is struggling to be read, makes the data more readable. But, you know, anything's worth a go. I'm going to put it in this enclosure, and we're going to plug it in and see what it does. Unfortunately, guys, as I sort of knew that it wouldn't work, it hasn't worked. Drive's plugged in. I've got no worries about it being my monitor, you know, not giving enough power. It's a powered hub. It's just like using 2 USBs on the Mac, plus I've tried it on the Mac as well. And the power is fine. It's literally, you can't, it's too quiet to hear on camera. But yeah, it's just not spinning up, unfortunately, so that's a bit of a shame. Anyway, that pretty much brings an end to this two-parter. There is more that I could try. I'm not going to try it because it's not my drive. You know, if it was my drive, I'd open it up and have a look, really, because like I said earlier, people are really scared of doing that, and yes, you can just lose all the data as soon as you open it up. But if you're just careful and calm and you do everything smoothly, quickly, and without panicking, then you can get a decent result from opening up a drive. It sounds like the platter is stuck. I think that I could mechanically unstick it and we'd have some success. But then again, I may be completely wrong. So what I'll do is I'm actually seeing the owner tonight. I will talk to him, explain everything, and see what he wants to do. And if he wants to leave it to a professional company, which is what I'll recommend, then I'll give him the drive in this enclosure or whatever to keep it safe. And he can have the enclosure then when he gets the drive back to retransfer his stuff. But as you can tell, guys, we've got no luck from this at all. Now, interestingly enough, I don't really fail at this kind of thing, so it's a bit annoying for me. Like, when people give me stuff to fix, I like to fix it. But in terms of when a hard drive goes wrong, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, like I say, I would try more, but it's probably not a good idea at all. So, without rambling too much, guys, as always, check out the video description. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really, really does help. And if you've stayed until the end, then I really appreciate it, because the sustainability rate of my videos is quite low at the moment, in terms of the fact of people watching them until the end. So it's nice if you're still here watching. But anyway, little bit of a failed attempt, but I've done everything that I can, you know, considering it's not my drive. And like I say, I'll give him all the options. There may be an update in the future if he wants me to carry on trying to get it to work, but I'm no expert, and, you know, I can't guarantee anything, and there's important data on this drive. I mean, people should back up, and I guess if he can't get it back at all, then that's just a lesson. Everyone has to face it at some point. Backing up is crucial, especially if you're going to go, you know, knocking about an old laptop like that. I mean, they're not going to survive. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Like I say, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.